Okay, so this is the top part of the robot. You can see here it's halfway done at least with the sensors. There's one ultrasonic sensor and there is 7 IR sensors. And then there's these small sensors for detecting the edge of the playing field. This here at the borders. But you can see here 7 new sensors that's working. You can see that they are flickering away. So let's point that one up. And I have a program here on the PC. You can basically here see a line. This is the received center. Here's a calculated center. The calculated center is not valid for no object, but the received center is. So what's basically happening here is that each of these sensors corresponds to, you can see here the red lines. When I put my finger, scroll it over the sensors, you can see that the red line, the height of the red lines are the sensor values. And then the center of the integral of the red lines is the center of the object. You can see here that it detects the center of my finger. And what I do with my finger is I just take it along here. It has quite a long detection range. So if I place my hand at about a decimeter or so, it can still detect the angle to my hand. But the values it gets is kind of low, but it doesn't really matter. It still gets the hand. So this would be at this distance. And it can still detect it. And the angle is from about, what could we call it, 60 degrees or so. If this is 0, it can see to 60 degrees and minus 60 degrees and still have an angle to the enemy. So it's working much better than I thought it would do. I will try to cram up the power on the LEDs a bit. Now they're only looking at 10 Hz. I will increase it to 100 Hz, but this is just for testing. So you can see them flicker. It doesn't really focus that well. So you have a programming cable and a debug cable connected. You have ultrasonic sensor and some of the CPU is mounted here and one is mounted in the center of the image there. And then this side will be the same as that side. Then there will be another ultrasonic sensor over here. So it's getting along quite nicely. I was stupid enough to use 2 of the sensor pins as the programming interface, so I can't have the programmer connected while I test it, because then it will get false readings. But it's working really nice now. So I will go ahead and mount the other side. 7 sensor here. I also had to do a mod on these sensors because I mounted the receiver in forward bias mode, but they're supposed to be in reverse bias mode. So I have to, you can't see because the camera won't focus, but there is 2 wires here crossing at the top of the sensor. You can see the size of my finger and the size of the sensor. They're basically 1 millimeter by half a millimeter in size that I have 2 wires crossing. It's a bit fiddly to make the sensors. But it's working kind of nice. And each of the sensors are about the same amount of sensitivity. So if I have my hand like this, you can see that the whole sensor floor is quite even if I take my hand closer to the sensors. So they are quite balanced, which is nice. Yeah, so that's basically it for now.